Poke nerds, welcome in. Hope y'all are doing well. It's time for some real talk, though, about the Pokemon market. There is a lot of BS out there on the internet, YouTube, PokeTubers, a lot of misinformation, a lot of ego, a lot of dick measuring contests, for lack of a better word. Anyone who is telling you that they know exactly how this market is going to go moving forward, stop listening to them right now, right? And I don't like to do this negative stuff. I like to keep it positive, but there's just a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people trying to stroke their ego and line their pockets. Anyone who says they know exactly what is going to happen moving forward is not trustworthy, because there are a lot of factors that make this thing unpredictable moving forward, right? No one knows exactly how it will go on either side. No one knows. So that's A. B, like, how long will the demand stay this high? That is a major factor, right? It will not last forever. This strong level of demand for Pokemon cards will not last forever. It never does. You have constantly seen throughout the years, throughout the decades, almost 30 years now, that this will not last forever. There are cycles in this market. Are we in a different kind of market now? And we've got a storm going on outside, so if you hear the thunder, that's what's going on. Typical Florida afternoon. Are we in a different market now? Yes. Will this market last forever? No. Will the next downturn in the market or cooling of the market be the same as it was before? Probably not. Right? And then the other question is like, will Pokemon try to meet this demand? Will they open up the printers? Will they print more? They could do that for sure. I think that they'd be smart to probably not go all in on doing that, because then they could completely crash the market and there could be more supply than demand, and they don't want that either. That's where you were with a good chunk of the Sword and Shield block, and then into Scarlet and Violet, the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, no one was really interested. And when I say no one, that's a relative term, right? There were still tons of people opening up Pokemon product and interested in Pokemon, including myself, right? There was tons of people here, but like, it wasn't anything like what we're seeing now. Everything was readily available, right? And I've just seen so many weird things on YouTube, and there's a ton of great creators out there. There really are. But there's also, for every great creator, there's somebody that's saying something that does not make a lot of sense. I've heard content creators saying that there's like no precedent for a crash in the Scarlet and Violet era. And if you're watching this and that was you, you know who you are. I'm not trying to, diminish anyone out here. But again, don't listen to folks saying that there's no way the market can have a downturn, that there's no way things can go back to MSRP, because they absolutely could, right? And it's, in my opinion, each product is different. Each set is different. There's a lot of different ways it can go. But 151, a set that's going to go down as one of the most influential, one of the most impactful, one of the most sought after sets in a very long time. Last spring and summer, it was MSRP or below. It was sitting on shelves. You could get it anywhere, right? Crown Zenith. I know that was Sword and Shield. It was the end of Sword and Shield, and it was being printed throughout the beginning of the Scarlet and Violet era. That sat on shelves. Now look at both of those sets, right? To say that it can't happen, to say that things cannot crash, is just disingenuous. And the reason I'm saying all this is because, like, people are out here telling you to buy at the top. I honestly think the only genuine investor bros, which I watch a lot of investing content because I just find it interesting. Market talk is very fun when it comes to Pokemon. And look, when I first started this channel, I was talking a lot about investing because I thought it was fun. Now, things rapidly changed, and I felt like it was a bit disingenuous to talk about investing for a while because nobody could even get their hands on things, right? And I still kind of am in that same boat. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can be in this hobby, and we don't need to go down that whole rabbit hole, but I honestly think that the only investor bros out there that are genuine and actually trying to help people are the ones telling you not to buy at the top, not to buy at all-time highs right now, straight up. And that's, people like Team Rocket Joey, Henry's Pokey Corner, Mimic Brew. These people are doing a really good job. They're telling you not to buy into the hype, not to FOMO, all that stuff. On a long enough timeline, sure. There's a very strong chance, probability, that everything in the Scarlet and Violet era will be way, way up from where it is right now. That is true. It is. But if you buy at the top or close to it right now, and then Pokemon does fire up those printers, or the demand does die down, or even crazier, both of those things happen, what if they fire up the printers and at the same time and around the same time, the demand actually cools? Then you're going to see things crash and you're going to be pissed. Do I know that's going to happen? Absolutely not. But it could. It absolutely could. And I do know at some point, demand will die down from what it is right now. It will not be as strong. This is a cyclical market. Hobbies are cyclical. Pokemon included. I will tell you, I do not think that the interest is going to die down soon. I don't think it's going to happen during the Mega Block. Because Mega, that's nostalgia. And I know I say nostalgia, it was only like less than 2 decades ago, right? But a little over a decade ago. But the Mega Block has a lot of people that love it. As they should. And it's going to tie into the new game. Megas are awesome. And I think that the Mega Special Illustration Rares are going to take the Mega Pokemon interest to a whole nother level. Right? Before this, yeah, we've had like Mega Full Arts. We had some Secret Rare Mega cards. Tag Team or, Sun and Moon. A couple Tag Team cards had like nice megas, Sableye. There was another one. But people haven't seen anything like what they're about to see with these special illustration rares in the Mega Block. So I don't think that the interest is going to die down in the Mega Block because this first Mega set already looks wonderful based on what we know. We know we're going to get a Charizard Mega set. We're going to get a Rayquaza Mega set. It looks like you're going to get a Greninja Mega set. And the list goes on. Like, it's going to be really popular. But at some point, there will be less interest. And if you buy at the top and the stuff that you bought at the top doesn't have as much interest and it falls down, you're not going to be very happy because then you're like, oh man, I could have bought it at that, right? General investing, don't buy at the top, right? Obviously, on a long enough timeline, you'll feel fine about it. Do you have a long enough timeline? These are questions you have to ask yourself. And again, anybody that's talking about the Pokemon market with 100% certainty is probably not someone you should be listening to. So, did a full market watch for Black Bolt and White Flare already today. You can go check that out. Right now, we're going to talk about some of the other new sets. Destined Rivals, Prismatic, Surging Sparks, Journey Together, kind of where I'm at with some of these sets and where they're at in general in the market. But again, 151. Got people out here saying that Scarlet and Violet has no precedent of crashes, of things going down to MSRP. The entire Scarlet and Violet block was at MSRP or below until November of last year. So like that is absolutely crazy. And I'll go ahead and I do have the graph pulled up for 151. I mean, in March of last year, you're seeing sales cheaper than MSRP for the 151 ETB. Right? All the way into April, right around $50. May, you're starting to see it creep up a little bit, but it's still around 50. June, July. 1 year ago, you could get an ETB under $60 of 151. So like anybody telling you that there's no precedent for crashes, the entire market was a crash. The entire market was below MSRP until November of last year. Bad information. Now, I did want to talk about prismatic singles in relation to Destined Rivals singles, because so many Destined Rivals singles are just doing really well. Whether you look at the Mewtwo that's holding strong, Cynthia's Garchomp here, Near Mint, it had a little dip down to 195, and it had same thing with Mewtwo. It got really hot. But Cynthia's Garchomp got up to 220, and now it's back down to around 200. Most of the time by this point, you see more of a dip. Journey Together saw more of a dip quicker than this, right? Surging Sparks did too. But I think when you look at Prismatic, that's a good example of it can take a while for that dip to really happen. And sure enough, it has happened, because you look at Umbreon, the crown of the crown set. It was well over 1,500, 1,600, 1,500. March. Look at April, you're still in the 1,400s, right? And then finally now it is down under 1,000. So I think eventually Destined Rivals, as more and more product does hit the market, eventually prices will cool a bit on the singles for Destined Rivals. I think that it will. Do I know that for certainty? No. I'll also say I have no clue what's going to happen with the Destined Rivals booster boxes. They are performing incredibly strong. You know, this is like right after release. 275, right at release, right? Or they released May 30th, didn't they? It's cheaper at release than it is right now. Just crazy. You do not normally see it like that. But that's the market we're in. And Destined Rivals is in the most in-demand set of the Scarlet and Violet era that is a booster box set, right? That's not a special set. The special sets, 151, Paldean Fates, Prismatic Evolutions, Shadow Fable. The big special sets have obviously done incredibly well. But this booster box for Destined is just, it's booming. I cannot recommend to get in at this price, but I don't know when it's going to fall down. I would bet it will, though. But do I know that? No. Anybody that says they know that for sure is disingenuous. We have to see what happens. How much more Destined Rivals comes to market in terms of like booster boxes, right? There's going to be plenty of products, but you're going to have to see a lot of booster boxes hit the market, or interest to completely shift to like black and white and megas for it to really start to dip. That's a tough one right there. It's the most in-demand and popular booster box of the Scarlet and Violet era. And Surging Sparks, I wanted to talk about the singles for Surging. I think it's a really good time to buy singles for Surging Sparks. They are all down. I mean, Pikachu, I think, is like cut in half. Latias has been over 250. Now it's down to 150. Milotic down to $90. Hydreigon down to 43. Latias down to 24, 25. Alolan Executor. Ceruledge hovering around. Last time I looked, it was like 16. This Mesprit card under $9. Skarmory, $8 for the Skarmory. The Feebas that goes along with the Milotic is only $7 here. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good time to buy Surging Sparks singles. As far as the Surging Sparks booster box, I talked to y'all earlier this summer, late spring, early summer, and I was looking at, when is the right time to buy surging sparks in this market. There was a time where Walmart had surging sparks for a very brief amount of time, and I think it was actually Forge and Fire selling through Walmart or JT Holdings, something, I don't remember. But it was about $200, $199, something like that. That was a really good time to get in, I think, because that was close enough to MSRP to feel all right about it. But we're at around $240 to $250 for a booster box of a set that's barely a half a year old. I just don't know if I could recommend that. Elite Trainer box, double MSRP. Again, difficult for me to sit here and say that this is a good time to buy a Surging Sparks Elite Trainer box. But singles, not a bad time to look at the singles. Gonna Journey Together. Elite Trainer box is $75. It's gone up, right? Like right after release, it was chilling in the 60s for a minute. It's been in the 70s for a little while now. I think Journey Together is a great set. I love the promo that comes in the booster box. Or excuse me, the Elite Trainer box. The Zorua. And Zorua, right? But if demand really cools, this is going to be the first set that really feels it of all the really modern sets, because it just does not have as much interest as any of the sets released in the last 7-8 months, right? So I don't think it's crazy to have a $75 Journey Together ETB in the current market, but when you think about if the market shifts downward, this is going to be one of the first to go down. And this actually, if the market cools a lot, I could actually see Journey Together ETBs dipping below MSRP. And here is Journey Together and Forge and Fire right at Walmart. $200 for the enhanced booster box. I think the enhanced booster box is awesome. The Ends Reshiram is awesome. Journey Together stamp on there, the illustration rare style card. I will tell you, I think market on TCG Player is actually like $215, something like that. Forge and Fire, I have had decent experiences with. I know a lot of people who have not had decent experiences with them. And you see again over here, Forge and Fire, who is selling this through Walmart. I don't know if I can recommend that, because again, I have buddies who have had issues with them and they are not helpful if there's an issue. So not great, but $215 again, I think it's a little high, but to me, the fact that you get that Reshiram box topper makes it more worth it. But again, I think if there is a set that has a real chance, if things cool off a little bit for Scarlet and Violet, to dip to MSRP or below, it's Journey Together. Strongly believe that one. And Journey Together singles, I think, are in a great place to purchase right now. I do. They've all dropped like wildfire. Salamence down to 76. Lily's Clefairy obviously at 128, still the top card. Iono's Belly Bolt overtook Enzoroark. I don't really understand that one personally, but I bought Enzoroark around $90. Now it's $54, so sucks to suck, right? But Hops Zacian, $41. Articuno down to below 20. I still think that's crazy. Ends Reshiram, this one's actually up. It's been weird. It's been really weird to watch this. People have been trying to pump it. It was hovering around $12 for a long time. Got pumped up to $23. There's been some market, manipulation, market activity, we'll say, on Ends Reshiram for sure. But the point of all this, just do not believe anyone who acts like they know everything. Do not believe anyone who will not listen to others, who will not listen to other opinions. No one knows everything about this market. Nobody. Because no one knows what will happen in the future. There are a lot of different factors that can impact the future of the Pokemon market. But for my money, I think that Journey Together is a decent play right now at, the single prices. They could continue to dip, but the single prices are in a place where I'd feel comfortable getting most of these. Adding them to my collection if they're cards that I really love. I'm still can't believe Lily's Rabombi is getting so disrespected, only $6. That is a beautiful card. Wailord should be, I think this is a good set to go in on right now. I think Surging Sparks is probably a good set right now, singles wise, to take a look at some of the singles maybe that were priced out earlier on in the set's time horizon. Destined Rivals, singles and sealed, just absolutely wild. So Black Bolt and White Flare, I would wait. I would definitely wait on some things to see how it ends up playing out, see if the market will kind of get to a lower point than it is right now on the brand new set. Obviously, if you can get anything at MSRP, knock yourself out, have a good time, open some packs. Really appreciate y'all tuning in, supporting this channel. Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and let me know what you think about the market currently and moving forward in the comment section below. Thank y'all so much. Have a good one.